Hey guys, and welcome to this little podcast which covered the Doorstep Carols. Now I need to explain before we get into this very quickly, that I very much intended to be at Katy Rink's house to cover the carols as they were happening, get a little bit of that ambiance and do a bit of carol singing myself and enjoy myself. However, this is what happened. Next week, we're going to be releasing a podcast where I spoke to Dave and Benno from the 90s revival. And this is where I had been before the Doorstep Carols. But on my way to speak to Dave and Benno, I got lost on Dave's street. I couldn't find his house. I was walking up and down for about 15, 20 minutes trying to find his house, which I found eventually. We did the chat with the 90s revivals guys. It was meant to take about half an hour. We got real stuck in. The interview took about an hour. So everything got set back. And then I turned up at Katy's house, got lost again, couldn't find Katy's house. So I actually missed the carols happening, which was a huge shame. However, I eventually found Katy's house and spoke to Jeremy, which you'll hear on this podcast, to Beth and to Katy as well afterwards. So we got to get an account of what happened very much straight after it happened, which is actually quite nice because it's all fresh in the memory. The warm glow was still there. And in fact, while I was doing the interview, I could smell the mulled wine being brewed. It was boiling there. It was nice. There was a fire, so we could smell the fire. People were still happy in the background. And so that's what you're about to hear right now is Doorstep Carols very much right after it had happened. So here we go. Here's the interview. Hope you enjoy it. And I'll catch you guys at the end. Take it away, Al. Hello, so I'm Alex from the Shrewsbury Biscuit podcast.
Hello, I'm Jeremy.
Jeremy, thank you so much for chatting to me today. We are covering, I tried to cover the Doorstep Carols today, which was a huge thing that started here in Shrewsbury.
That's right.
That you put the music together for, right?
Well, I was very much involved in the music. One of the ideas we had last year when we had singing together with a radio was actually if we put up the music on the website, it would be available to stream or to download for people at any time. And that's a big part of it. We've just had a very successful evening, but you can still go to the Doorstep Carols website. You can download word sheets for any group, any set of people you like. It could be in a care home, it could be in a school, it could be your office work party even. And once you've got the word sheets, you've got a choice. You either have brass band accompaniment or piano. So you've got yourself a carol concert, and it's all free.
Music has always had this huge universal appeal, and this all started at a time when people really needed that kind of comfort from music. And I've just come from an interview with the 90s revival guys, and It's weird how this kind of meets up because they were doing like music in their kitchen, you guys doing Christmas carols on the doorstep. It's just universal.
It's absolutely, and it is universal in the sense of right around the world too, which of course we've had people from other countries too who like the traditional English way of doing carols, and I'm waiting to hear from Australia, and I'd love to hear that somebody on Bondi Beach was involved in Doorstep Carols too. But no, people can get involved. They can do it in whatever way they like. Even if you've got little Jimmy who plays ukulele, he can find the chords there. Anything will fit with anything else. You can make any combination of people singing, instruments and the backing tracks, and have yourself a carol concert.
Nice. And how does this match up to your years of work and all the great things that you've put together? How does this match up, as a project to work on?
It's been a brilliant project. I mean, the original concept, which Katy and Beth had here of the Doorstep Carols, worked so well. We were in the, if people remember, last December, right back in a very, very negative feeling sort of time,
yes,
because it was before vaccine and people were very much cooped up in their houses, and we came out and we sang together with the radio. I was with a group of people in one of the streets on the far side of Shrewsbury, and it was just great. People just felt that sense of release and that sense of community, just being together. It was almost like a war thing, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. I get that, actually. The singing before the raids and stuff. I love that. I was going to say something, and it just went out of my mind. You're surprised how many
happens to me all the time.
But no, yeah, we saw. No, this is what I was going to say. We saw a snippet of a very short, like little. When the NHS clap started happening, when everybody started coming on the doorstep and clapping for the NHS, that first evening when I saw that and it actually happened, I was kind of like, oh, this is beautiful.
Yes.
And then it turned into something completely different, didn't it?
The trouble is, if these things go on too long, if they're prolonged sort of artificially, then they sometimes lose that spontaneous feel, don't they? I've seen that elsewhere with other things too. But with the Doorstep Carols, we hope that it's actually got legs. We hope that this is a project which will actually gain in momentum. We had people in Bristol. We would have had Canterbury Cathedral singing our jingle, except that they got COVID in amongst some members of the choir who then had to isolate and couldn't simply do it, and so they had to drop out, and that was a great shame. That was a disappointment, but we're hoping that this will go on next year, and one of the big things will be, I think, getting out there early and letting all of these organisations know that they can buy into it and that it's not going to cost them money. All they've got to do is a little bit of organisation, and there they are.
It's nice to see that these Christmas carols are getting like this rebirth as well, because like carol singing, when I was a kid, we used to go around and you knock on someone's door, you sing carols, you get 50p,
Yes,
that's kind of what used to happen. But it kind of, I suppose maybe it's because I got older and I didn't sort of pay attention so much anymore. It seemed to sort of fizzle out, the whole idea of carols, whereas now you've kind of gone, here's carols, enjoy, and everybody's just really actually revelled in it. It's quite nice.
Well, to me, I've been teaching music throughout my career till I retired last year, and the kids have always enjoyed singing the carols come Christmas time. It's always been popular, and you always know it's going to be jingle bells and 5 gold rings in 12 days of Christmas. These are still phenomenally popular with people, and so it's well worth keeping going. I mean, a lot of our carols have been going longer than almost any other type of song that we have in this country. They date back, some of them, to very much the Middle Ages and the days when there were people in the watchtowers who had to amuse themselves during the long night as they sat there feeling rather cold and miserable in the walls of Chester and places like that.
Yeah, it's nice. You have brought a nation together, from one doorstep to another, right across the country. So thank you for that. It's nice to see that people still fighting for that sense of community, because in this world where it's all negativity on social media, there's lots going on in politics, there's the COVID thing, and there's lots of this, blah, 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 blah. There's somebody out there going, actually, no, we can all come together as a community. So thank you for that. Thank you for...
Yeah. Well, you're very welcome. And please, people, don't forget that that material is there still. Now, if you go to Doorstep Carols, if you search on the website Doorstep Carols, you will find that is there. It's there for the remainder of time up to Christmas in 2021, and it's going to be there in 2022 and 2023 for people to make use of.
And where can they get that? Is it
www.doorstepcarols.co.uk.
Brilliant.
Just go in there and have a look. There's a page called Music, and you will find everything there. You can get everything that you need.
Thank you for chatting to me today.
It's been a great pleasure standing on a doorstep talking about Doorstep Carols.
I'm just sorry I missed the singing. I'm genuinely really, really sad about it. But I got lost, man. So lost.
I understand it's on iPlayer for a little while to come, but I shouldn't be advertising, should I?
Thank you for chatting to me, Jerry.
You're welcome.
Right, it's Doorstep Carols. I tried to cover it today. I was late, got lost. And then got lost again. I messaged Jane, who's Jane Pickworth, who invited me here tonight. I don't think she's here anymore. I was like, I'm here, but I'm lost. So I missed all the singing. I'm here with Beth.
Aww.
I'm with Katy.
Shall we sing for you?
Yeah, no.
Jingle bells, Batman smells. No, that's it. Done.
Marvin went away.
This thing, man, nationwide, this thing has gone. How does that feel?
Cool.
It's so epically epic.
Yeah.
The Christmassy, and we're so proud. I think Katy's amazing idea last year that has taken the whole nation by storm has been a pretty cool idea, Katy. Well done.
Well, it's a massive collaboration. I couldn't have done it without my mate Beth and all our amazing girls at Shropshire festivals.
Yeah, amazing.
It's been fantastic. What we've really liked is seeing the Twitter hashtag Doorstep Carols stuff that's come in tonight. To see it going
Far
on up
and
and down
wide.
the country. It's really lovely. That's our favourite bit.
Yeah, so our aim as Shropshire Festivals this year is to get 1 million smiles in 2022. So if we do Doorstep Carols again, that will be the dream that will come true, because I reckon, so last year we had about 150,000 people take part. So I reckon we'll have smashed that this year. It'll be interesting to see the figures tomorrow when we look at the downloads. But last year the BBC radio stations peaked massively on Doorstep Carols night, and we've got more radio stations, and we've had BBC London and all those involved. So it's pretty epic.
So we reckon maybe 2 million plus tonight is
Trending.
our conservative
Nationwide?
estimate. Yeah, just based on the number of organised events that we know are going on out there, and the fact that all those people who've organised those events are also spreading the word in the areas where they live, and the traction that we've had as well on our emails and people getting in contact to tell us what they're doing has been amazing. So it's definitely bigger this year. We won't settle until it's a Christmas tradition set in stone, signed in our blood.
I wrote that on the biscuit this morning. I was like, this is the new nationwide tradition that started in Shrewsbury. And I saw that the news report as well mentioned you guys. I was like, I know those guys.
Yay.
I know them. And have you seen any footage of what was going on in the town square today? Was there lots of people gathered there? I didn't get a chance to.
We've been around town and had a nosy at what else is going on. There's been a fair few streets taking part, and
Wow.
obviously Carols in the Square, organised by the town council, was phenomenal as well. So they do a brilliant job every year, and actually, you know, we're sharing the words, and that's kind of an epicentre for Shrewsbury. And then all the streets, as I was going down towards the square, I kept coming across these streets that were all out singing with lots of mulled wine and mince pies and Christmas cheer.
Yeah, I was really torn this year because I loved doing that last year, going around on the night. So here's a hot tip if we do it again: to get on your bike and cycle around the neighbourhoods and seeing other people doing it is brilliant, but we don't want too many people to do that because otherwise they won't be doing it where they live.
Yeah.
But it's really good fun to go and see other people.
There were nobody at home. There'd just be people cycling around in circles.
But I decided I wanted to do it at home this year, so we've had all the family and friends and lit the fire pit and kind of done it properly, which has been really nice. But it did mean that we only saw people as they were getting ready, and we didn't get to go round while it was going on. So
in a world where community was very much threatened by COVID, we can do events, we can gather, and Beth knows all about that. Yeah, I said the C word. I'm sorry.
it's going to be a pantomime villain eventually, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh no, it's Mr. COVID. Imagine. You guys have reinstalled a bit of community there, and the whole coming out on the doorstep, the mulled wine there brewing on the all that kind of that warm feeling. I've never really witnessed that until sort of like now, sort of moving around Shrewsbury and seeing how people get together. And I was saying to Jeremy there that the first time I sort of witnessed that was that very first NHS clap. When that first happened, I was like, oh my God, that's amazing. And
we can do this, guys. We don't really hate that much.
How does it feel though to have so many people respond in such a positive way?
I mean, it's amazing. Obviously,
you're not going to go, it's terrible.
I don't know. I'm quite realistic about it in that I think there are certain streets where it works, and there are certain streets where, obviously, if you live on a busy main road and you come out
building like me.
and nobody's singing, then you're going to pretty quickly go back inside. But I think if you live on a cul-de-sac or where you've got terraced houses, then it's really easy for people to come out, and it's really beautiful. And if you decorate your street, it's even nicer. But I think we can't force every single person in the whole country to sing.
We can. We can. It's now law.
That was what we were aiming for. But I think if we can just galvanise those certain people in streets who are going to get everybody else going, who are going to knock on other people's doors and say, this was really good last year, let's do this. then that might give us traction to carry on every year. And why not? Because it's a beautiful thing to do with your family, and it does create memories, and it does bring people together. It's got real power to strengthen communities, I think, because you might not know your neighbours, but after you've hung out on your doorstep, sung a few carols and shared some mulled wine, you'll feel like you know them a bit better. And if you need to borrow some eggs the next day, you're not going to be embarrassed. I think it brings the barriers down between people.
It's just sorry, go on.
I was going to say, and lonely people as well. It gives them the ability, if you're single or if you're lonely, or if you just want to feel part of something bigger but you're not able to go out, or we had Great Ormond Street Hospital joining in this evening. There's a lot of people out there, we forget because we're well and healthy and we've got families and loved ones. There are people out there who haven't, and actually to be able to be part of something bigger, even if you are sat in your own house by yourself and you can turn on a local radio station and you can know that you're doing something like the NHS clap along, it actually means that you are doing something. You're not just sitting there by yourself. You are part of a bigger thing. And actually, as human beings, what we've all missed in this last couple of years is being part of stuff. And this is why this was important last year, because we couldn't have Christmas parties, we couldn't do stuff together, and so coming out and making those, like Katy says, making memories is what both of us are all about, and that's kind of the purpose behind both of our businesses. So it makes sense to bring that together.
Yeah, and in a world where there's so much negativity, it's very well needed at the moment. You look at social media, you spend too long on social media, you find yourself getting acclimatized to the jargon that's on there. So, I mean, it's nice to forget about all that for a little bit,
Yeah, I think the news at the moment is so hard. It's what we in journalism call super hard news. There's no soft, fluffy stories. There's nothing that makes us kind of feel good or that feeds into well-being. It's almost like journalists realise that people just react or will click on the bad stuff, and so this is a massive injection of positivity, trying to turn the tide on that culture. I mean, maybe that's overstepping it a bit, but I think we can actually do an awful lot by creating these sorts of events and traditions.
And if anyone's ever watched a movie, Christmas spirit saves a lot of things in the world.
Elf, it makes the sledge fly again.
Yeah, exactly. So if we can keep on dialing up that Christmas spirit, then actually we do change the world. Every time anyone smiles or has an interaction with a human being, then they become less likely to be on social media looking at bad stuff for the night.
I think it's a special place emotionally as well. If you can find that warm glow over Christmas, I mean, we've all been there where it's been work, and then you finally sit down with your family, you can have some mulled wine and the music playing, and you think, oh no, this is nice. Yeah. There is that moment where you're like, yeah, and that's important. Especially if you've got a family.
And I think singing as well, like singing something, you don't have to talk to the people that you're with. So there's no awkward making conversation, but you're sharing an experience and you're doing something, your personality doesn't get in the way when you sing. You just get to be together in a really beautiful way.
I did say to Jane Pickworth, who I mentioned earlier, that I was going to sing like Brian Blessed tonight. So I mean, joy to the world.
Gotta hear that.
Come on then, you missed out earlier. I want to hear you sing.
Yeah, nobody. I like to fade into people. I mean, I suppose Brian Blessed will go over everybody, wouldn't it? But but you've had a group of people working with you guys as well. Obviously, there's Jeremy, there's the music and the puppets as well with Jane, and the radio stations. The collaborative work has just been stunning to see.
It's like Doorstep Carols is this great kind of swirling organism, and you've got to be a bit careful how close you get to it, because you're definitely going to get sucked in.
I bet you're going to regret this in the future, Alex. Shouldn't have turned up tonight.
I love stuff like this. I'm so good I missed it. I genuinely am. I was like, oh my God, I'm so late. But it's nice to be included in things like this. I mean, like the Biscuit's positive, and what you guys do is positive, and my Shrewsbury is very positive as well. So it's like it almost to get. And I was just interviewing the 90s revival guys, and I was saying there are so many people in Shrewsbury that if they banded together, there'd be something really special that could happen from that.
That's really interesting. I like that idea.
Yeah.
I think even if it was just a once a month trip to the pub,
We've spoken about this before.
Yeah,
haven't we?
I think we should definitely do something like that. That would be great, because it's when people get together that ideas come out, and if we've all got the same aims and the same visions. That's no, what are you going to get me into now?
Well, we just...
Did you just say you wanted to plan an event? Is that what you said? Did you just say
with this microphone, right, Alex? It's not expensive.
Speaking of events, Beth, what are you working on at the moment? Busy? Oh, you're always busy.
Yeah, we've got quite a lot planned for 22. We've just done a big wall planner, and I kind of regret it because it's a bit scary. But we've got some new festivals next year, and so we've got Party in the Park, Shropshire Party in the Park, which is going to be in May. We've got Kids Fest in February. We've got a new leadership conference at the Theatre 7 in March. We've got the tennis back at the Shrewsbury Club. Obviously, we've got the favourites back, the Food Fest and Oktoberfest. We've got Tasty Trail back again as well next year, and we've got a few little things that might be happening as well that I can't tell you yet because you're going to probably put this out live before I'm allowed to tell you.
Yeah,
as soon as I'm allowed, you'll know.
You know I will. I'm irresponsible.
No such thing as saying Doorstep Carols 2022.
That goes without saying, surely. Christmas will be back next year, guys, 2022, and it starts on the 14th of December 2022, which will be Doorstep Carols. So yeah,
It's even got a date.
yeah, well, we kind of expected it. So yeah,
These things just grow, though. They grow and they grow and they grow. And the fact that we're going to have this nationwide tradition that started here with you guys is very nice. It's very nice.
Aw.
Can I tell Alex my synergy for you and the Coca-Cola thing? So, with Katy was like, I was saying, it's going to get bigger than us. So the person who put Father Christmas, well, St Nick in red for Coca-Cola, no one remembers that guy, but every year everyone enjoys seeing Father Christmas who's dressed in red, and that's part of a tradition. So in years to come, in 10 years, 20 years, when people are singing Doorstep Carols a couple of weeks before Christmas, and it's kind of what starts off the Christmas season for people, they won't remember it started in Shropshire. That's irrelevant. What happens is that, like Father Christmas, it's that kind of warm, happy feeling that actually started in Shropshire. We know it started in Shropshire, and that's really what's important about it. It raises thousands for charity, brings lots of people together, and it was, we were here first. As everything, the epicentre is Shropshire.
Yeah. It really is. It really is. And, there's so much happening here. I love being here. I really do. And I do want to say thank you to you both, because in a time when we've needed this the most, you've created a huge positive thing today. So on behalf of everybody, across the nation, actually, that's a weird thing to say, but thank you very much for doing that. And I've said that to you many times, actually, Beth, because you like, here's a pie, let's have a pie.
She's a giver.
Lincoln party.
Smiles. There you
Apparently
go.
we're meeting once a month. Yeah, come to the pub with us, guys, if you're listening. Just we'll arrange a date, and Alex will put it out, and we'll have a kind of a chat. We should call it something cool that Katy will think of because she's a journalist, and it'll become a thing, and we'll go around the various towns of Shropshire, and we'll be in a different corner of the county, right, maybe bi-monthly, just putting it out there.
Committing to.
Yeah, it's fine.
You bring the chips, I'll bring the dips, it'll be great.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
Is there any My Shrewsbury news you want to tell the listeners before we go?
My Shrewsbury news. We've got an amazing In the Loop weekly digital package that we can send people that I'm really truly proud of. It's got the best what's on in Shrewsbury, so it will keep you in touch with what's going on at the weekend. It comes out every Wednesday, and we have the pick of the week's best stories, and then some top local offers as well. It is paid for. That's the big news, is that I am up with the trend of generating paid for content, because as you know, the magazine's free. So and it's really, really a little amount. It's less than half a cup of coffee a week to sign up to In the Loop, and to think how many people just buy cups of coffee without thinking. But yeah.
And to put that into comparison, there's a lot of podcasters out there who will be like, oh, there's extra content on Patreon for £2 a month or something. It's the same sort of thing. You offer this amazing thing for free. You can get a little bit more, support a local editor of an amazing magazine. And it goes round in circles. You get the extra content and you support Katy.
Yeah,
so.
absolutely.
And also, people who are looking for Christmas presents, because actually we all buy plastic tap that's no memory to it, and that's kind of a sign of our times. But if you bought somebody something that they can enjoy every week, and then once a month it'll get delivered to your door, then also she's got subscription packages, which she's not talking about.
Yeah, so you can have it posted out to you. You just give me a big advert. You're lovely. I'm going to kiss you. You can have it posted out to you. You can post it to your granny, post it to your friends. It is a really nice Christmas present to give someone who lives in Shrewsbury. So thank you very much. It's www.myshrewsbury.co.uk/subscribe.
Well,
find it.
Thank you very much for chatting to me, guys. And Merry Christmas as well.
Yeah, we wish you a Merry Christmas.
We wish you a Merry Christmas.
And
we wish you a Merry Christmas.
And a Happy New Year. Thank
Amazing.
you.
Right. Brilliant. Peace out. So there we have it. How nice was that? Real good vibes there through that. And even though I missed the event actually happening, it was a real pleasure to speak to those guys at the end of that. I really do enjoy speaking to Beth, to Katy, and it was really nice to meet Jeremy for the first time. I'm sure we can get a podcast with him after the fact and speak about his career. I'd very much like to speak to him about that. Ice well and truly broken. Thank you so much for inviting me around to take part in this event, because it is a huge event. It has massive repercussions across the nation, and I'm very proud to be doing the Shrewsbury Biscuit in Shrewsbury, where amazing things like this happen. I am fully supportive of what Katy's doing there with My Shrewsbury. Make sure you check out the subscription there, because I think it's a very good thing. The way I described it during the podcast is very real, and it happens for many things, whether you're a game streamer, YouTuber, vlogger, whether you write a blog, or whether you're a podcaster. You know, a lot of people offer extra services for what they give out normally for free, whether they put it behind a Patreon or whether, whatever it is. Support your local creators of content, whether it be magazines, whether it be content creation. So please make sure you do that. Also, I'd like for you guys to check out our website, which is www.theshrewsburybiscuitpodcast.co.uk. All of our content is accessible and will play directly off our website. I've had a few nice comments actually this week about our website and how smooth it runs. So if you've not checked out our content there, it is an easy way to go and just listen to the podcasts directly from the website. Otherwise, you can listen to us on Spotify, iTunes, Podbean, whatever podcast app you use, or use your at-home devices, whether that be Alexa or whether that be Google Home, Siri, whatever it is you use. Thank you so much again for inviting me for this. I've really enjoyed it. We have lots to release this week. There's always something going on in Shrewsbury, and I will catch you at the next one. Thanks for listening, guys. Peace out.